Hey mates, so as we all know, there's a new Thomas and Friends show coming out this year. So far we know practically nothing about it except some merch leaks and a fun little book coming out on May 12th. And I thought I would take the time while we don't know much to say my predictions and hopes for this new show. As much as I am excited, I'm also nervous. It's a given that when a new show comes out about something you love, you get excited. But given Mattel's history with the franchise, makes me nervous. I mean, hopefully they learn from their mistakes, right?
Here comes Thomas on the #1 engine.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get back on track to the main plot of this video. My 6 wishes for 2026. Thomas and Friends is so known for its wide range of characters in the series. I'm not bothered to count, but I'm sure there is well over 100. From the narrow gauge engines to the steam team, the diesels, the mini engines, cranes, people, the list goes on. And that is what makes the show so special. Unfortunately, the wide cast range died when the show turned to CGI. I guess it's not all Nitrogen's fault considering they had to model so many things in the big switch, but they also never added any legacy characters later, so I don't know. Then a miracle happened. Mattel bought the franchise and the big cast slowly returned. The show felt whole again, and that's what I want for the new series. Not every second episode being focused on Thomas with a clown. Episodes with characters like Donald and Douglas in the spotlight, but not just in one episode. Maybe give them a few. Luckily, my wish of a large cast range has already come true considering all the merch that's been leaked. Even Scruffy's coming back, along with so many other legacy characters. It's good to see that Mattel is bothering to look back on the show and bring back characters from the classic era. Which brings me to my next wish. Thomas and Friends started all the way back in 1945 with the first book of the Railway series being published. The Reverend Audrey wrote the Railway series and later his son Christopher took over. But they both had one thing in common. They knew who Thomas was. He was a cheeky engine who always tried to get his way, but never missed a chance to be really useful. Always trying to please the Topham Hatt. Thomas is a steam train, not a 2D machine that has wheels for arms. No! He is a train that runs on coal and water and is the same as any other locomotive in the real world, with the exception of faces, of course. All Engines Go completely abandoned Thomas's heritage, erasing everything that made Thomas, Thomas. The show lost its charm. It didn't stand out, it didn't do anything amazing like live action crashes or beautiful CGI sunsets. No. It just blended in with all the other crappy kid shows that air today. But this new show coming out this year is Mattel's chance for redemption. They can bring back the light of Thomas that went out. And I believe that after their many failed attempts of the show, they have finally realised what makes Thomas, Thomas. At least I hope so. Merch is something Mattel had a hard time getting right for several years. It's only taken them until 2025 to get it somewhat right, and I'm talking about the 80th anniversary engines. Some were really good, and others were interesting. But at least they were all better than what came before them. And luckily, I think this year's toys are even better than the 80th ones. Sure, the faces are a bit weird and the motorized engines look like they don't fit their chassis. I mean, look at Gordon. But overall, I think they look good, especially the die-cast engines. They look accurate to the show we all know and love, and going off the renders on their packaging, they look accurate to the new show as well. Merch isn't too much of a wish though, because we already know what half of it looks like. I'm just hoping they realize their mistakes from the past and fix them. And it looks like they already have. Hopefully with this new reboot, it brings even more toy lines. Maybe even some old ones back? Either way, it'll be nice to see store shelves filled again with merch other than All Engines Go. So now I'm gonna stop talking about the merch before this turns into a review, but we'll stay on a topic that's relevant. So as we all know, going off the new diecast packaging, we see in the top left it says the show is available on YouTube Kids, and I have the biggest mixed feelings about this. It's great because it'll be on YouTube so practically anyone can watch it for free, but then I'm afraid that if it's a YouTube Kids exclusive, are people going to take the show seriously? I think I did hear something that it will be available on Netflix, but it was probably just a rumor. All I'm saying is they better market the out of this new show. It seems Thomas is finally going back to its roots, and they need to let people know that. I better be seeing those massive Thomas stands you'd see at Toys R Us in 2012. But that is me praying for something that most likely won't come true. I am excited to see Thomas shelves this year though. I like how on the packaging it looks like they've gone for a retro look, which is great. I think it will really help the Thomas section stand out from other brands. I'm just hoping they advertise this new reboot in some sort of way that isn't just on their YouTube channel. Hopefully some TV ads? I don't know. So this is going to be a shorter one because I already touched on this when I did Heritage, but there's still some extra stuff to talk about. In 2004, Hit Entertainment really took over the show. Season 8 came out this year, and this is when Hit had full control over the show's production, and many things changed. A major change was that the engines now didn't have to rely on a driver and fireman to move. This allowed them to have more diverse storylines and let the engines do stuff for themselves. This was a fine change. It didn't affect the show too much, and when the show turned to CGI, it was fine as well. But for this new show, I really hope they bring back driver and fireman. Sort of like they did in the Brenner era. Like, imagine if Thomas had to run after a runaway train or something, but his driver was in a cinema box having a cup of tea. I don't know. After all the animation and CGI, these are still locomotives that are based in a real world. And I think they should be treated like that. Not flying or jumping off tracks, just being trains. Locations are so important for the series. They are what provide inspiration for practically every toy set, and I am so excited to see what new locations are to come. But I also hope they keep the originals, you know, like Tidmouth Sheds, Knapford, Brenham Docks, all the mains. And maybe even some forgotten ones like Elsbridge, the coal mines, maybe even the smelters yard. That'd be pretty neat. And it seems like they're bringing a couple nitrogen sets back, like the Whistling Woods is in the new book, and they're bringing back Flynn and Harold, which are both located at the Search and Rescue Center in CGI. But I swear to God, if they bring Misty Island back, I'm going to crash the out. Anyways, I'm also hoping for some new locations. It'd be cool to see a new branch line or a quarry, and I really hope they bring back the Steamworks. It'd also be cool to see places like Crovan's Gate so the narrow gauge and standard gauge engines can talk, or maybe even some random locations no one would see coming, like Sir Topham Hatt's house or an abandoned shunting yard, something along those lines. You know what would be really cool? Kildane. But that's just me dreaming. All I hope is that the locations in the show all have a purpose and make good toys. And that is it. My 6 wishes for 2026. If you guys have any of your own predictions for the reboot, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to read them. All in all, I just hope this reboot is just genuinely good. A good writing style makes all the difference. I'm also planning to revisit this video when the show comes out, and at the end of the year, I'll make a part 2 and see what I wanted in the show that happened and what didn't. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.